This.
You got this.
All right, welcome back to Life, Love, and Real Estate. As always, I am Daniel Palmer from Shelter Home Mortgage, here to talk you through how to navigate all three facets of your life. Before we get into it, I am, of course, joined by my much better pod half, Miss LaCressa Morrow of Keller Williams in town. LaCressa, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Doing very well. It's the end of the month. It's finally cooled down a little here in Atlanta. Like it's the
I don't like
flirtations of the beginning of fall.
I don't.
You're like Susan. You people in your summer people like, oh, I want to be hot all the time. I like being sticky. Like, come on, guys. Like
It's still supposed to be hot. It's
it,
August. It's not supposed to get cool until the end of October, which is right around Halloween. It's a little too early. It's a little strange. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I'm taking my win where I can get it.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of things that are happening, but I gotta find my silver linings where I can. As always, make sure you guys do me a huge favor. Like this, subscribe on the YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, on Apple Music, wherever you're listening to this, wherever you get your favorite podcasts for free 99. And do me one extra favor. Go ahead and share us with someone who could benefit from our wealth of knowledge and experience, whether it be in life, love, or especially real estate. We're over 40 years of experience between us. We're happy to be talking to you today. And LaCressa, normally, so behind the scenes, normally we have this thing scheduled, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's think of some ideas to talk about, and I float some things, and we bounce back and forth. I got a text from you last week. Let's
Yeah.
talk about maintenance.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from. Honestly, I cannot remember now because last week was such a long week. Yeah, I'm still recovering from last week. So I don't remember if it was a TV show or a conversation. I think it was a conversation I was having with friends, honestly, about maintenance of relationships. Right. And I was like, oh, that's a good one. Because, as we are adults, and we are not just adults, we are been adulting for a while. I am closer to 50 than you are. At the same time, as we get older, it's harder to make friends. It's harder to make new friends. And so you maintain the relationships you have, right? And how do you keep that maintenance going? So, yeah, I think that's how it came up.
That's a fantastic question because in my eyes, when you sent that to me, like it just popped like a flashbulb went off my head. I was like, this is fantastic because
This is awesome.
you and I had talked about like people not knowing the cost of maintaining their home. We talked about this last episode, but then you also like because you and I are again we're adults. We've had these conversations. We're friends, and we talked about how hard it can be to not just maintain romantic relationships, but interpersonal relationships as a whole. Like it's one of those things that as you get older and your life gets busier, you get more siloed off. Like we had Matthew's birthday party at my house last weekend. Fantastic time. A lot of 2-year-olds running around my home. Very strange for me. By far the most number of people I've ever had in my house at one time. So like that was another moment for me. But at one point I was talking to one of my buddies who was there. I'm actually the godfather of his son. And he was like, I used to make fun of my friends who would get married and have kids and I wouldn't see them anymore. Be like, what's going on? What's the problem? And now I want to go back and apologize to them because as your life gets more full, it's harder to find that time and be so intentional. One of the things I do every fall is I've talked about this here. I had a good friend of mine pass away a couple years ago, and we do a golf outing every year in September in Michigan. We raise money for his foundation, hang out with the family. It's a great weekend. I can't go this year. I've got a wedding I had to attend of a good friend in Alabama, and so I had to make that call. I called my buddy's his widow. It's such a weird word to use. His widow, and we ended up talking for like 25 minutes yesterday and just catching up. And Matthew is named after my buddy Matt, and so like it's one of those things where it's like whenever we do get to catch up, it's like picking up where the last time we left off. It's one of those relationships where it's really strengthened. It's not weakened by the distance or the time. And so that's something I truly value because we were able to get past the perfunctory stuff pretty quickly and have a really good like catch up conversation. How's life really going? How are you feeling about things? And so I really value, especially because my life has taken me and my friends all over the country and the world really. So like the ability to step back in and to have those touch points, that's maintenance in and of itself. Like I could have very easily just sent her, can't make it, and been done with it and not to think about it again. But I had called her a couple weeks ago because when the wedding popped up, and then she called me yesterday, and then she's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, you have a life outside of talking to me. But I think one of it is assuming good intent from the people in your life diffuses a lot of the awkwardness and like, could I have been like, yeah, you should have called me back 3 weeks ago? Like, yeah, I guess I could have. Like, but like, what does that solve, or what does that doesn't even like, it doesn't make sense based on relationship. And so the assumption of good intentions for me is the baseline for our relationships going forward. And if that does that make sense to you? Like even ones where you have to put that work in.
It does. For me, I have levels of relationships. I don't know if you do. And so there are those that I see once a year. There are some that I just chat with every now and then. And we try to get together. Especially like here in Atlanta, right? We're so everybody's busy.
Yeah.
So there's that. Life is lifing for all of us. And you can live 15 minutes from someone and you haven't seen them in a year. So that happens quite often. But then there are my mainstays that like, if they haven't heard from me in 48 hours, they're calling like, what's up, right? And then my best friend who lives in upstate New York, we talk a couple times a week, or we might not talk for a couple weeks, and then we'll talk every day. Yeah, they're different, but there is maintenance that's put into it, for sure. There are people that I have to see. Like I have to put my face to your face. I have to hug you. I have to spend some intimate quality time with you. And then there are others that it's just a phone call or a random dinner, but they all need maintenance just in different ways.
I think a lot of that speaks to intentionality and like making sure that we make the space and the time for these things. Yeah. I'm bad about it. I know it's something we all kind of talk about and work on, but for me, it's like, hey, I haven't spoken to X or something like this golf outing. Of course, I'm getting texts from all the New York guys and like, hey, got my ticket. I'm like, I'm not going to make it, but let's catch up. And so we end up having the branch out conversations or getting to branch out conversations from that. But the same way with you, well, I don't have the physical presence necessarily on my side. It's the communication. For me, it's communication, whether it's dropping memes to each other or laughing about a football thing. Yeah. I have a running group chat. Me, my best friend Mike, and Shawnee we talk constantly. We're constantly talking on the three of us on our group chat about everything, about anything. I think yesterday it was Cam Newton came up because Cam Newton got the new he's going to be opposite Stephen A. Smith on First Take, and we're going to talk about that for a while. It's very interesting, and there are things I said in the group chat that I won't repeat here. But I will say that it's that's my touchstone. Like that's the one where I'm just like, I like to hear my people's thoughts. I like to hear what they're thinking. I don't want to just like perfunctory. How are the wife? How are the kids? How's your day? Like it's like, hey, let's talk about some other stuff. And so the thing I always say to myself is I'm very bad at small talk. Like I'm terrible. Like how's the weather? What traffic's bad? Like it doesn't. I feel empty when I do it. I like to say I prefer medium talk. Like we don't have to get super deep all the time, but at least I need to get past the things you would say to a stranger on a bus.
Interesting. Yeah, I that's my jam is quality time. So I'm very intentional about that with the people that I care about. And I make sure that that's my thing. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's my love language. And so that's what I do to others. I might probably smother some of them a little much. And then they let me know like what depth of a relationship. And then I know there are some people who are very like, if I'm in your face, it's really intense. And then once I move or something like that, it's very, out of sight, out of mind until I stop back in town again. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's do all of these things. So I don't know. I mean, over the years, I've learned the different types of relationships that work for me. And the ones that are my mainstays and the ones that are just, some check-ins. But I'm a big believer too, that if someone crosses your mind, they're crossing your mind for a reason. So reach out to them. It's really that simple. Like, what's coming on your mind,
And I think that's really important too. Like knowing, first of all, like the levels, but two, when it just happens to come across your mind, take the sign and take the moment and say, hey, let me reach out to my friend. Because as we talk about maintenance, we're going to talk about things that you didn't know need to be maintained. You know your friends. You know who needs what from you. You know what they expect from you. Like if I call one of my buddies and was just like had a very surface level conversation, they'd be like, what's going on with Daniel? Like, what's up with Palmer? Is anyone talk to Palmer? Is he okay? Like they know that about me. Like, and I won't, and maybe that's just a quirk of my personality, but I want to get to know like what's really going on. I want to have the real conversation because if we've taken the time to set aside time in our busy schedules to catch up, I want part of that catch up to be, let's really talk about some stuff that like, hey, you can't really get out all the time because one of the things we did this golf trip a couple years ago. And this guy I've known since I was 18, one of my good friends, linebacker on the football team, fantastic guy. He pulled me aside and was like, "You're my friend, but you're also not part of my everyday life, so I can tell you this." And I was like, that's a very wild but specific distinction. It was because they had just gotten pregnant and he didn't want to tell everyone yet, but the baby's here, but everybody's fine. But like, he was like, I can tell you because it's not going to be something that you're going to run into someone that we know and tell them. It's just say, I'm excited. I want to share it with someone. And you're someone it's a safe place to do that too. And so I had that relationship where it's like, let me just get something off my chest, or maybe it's a mutual friend that we're talking about, but like, it's not something that I need to constantly have in my mind, but I do need to get it out of my head. And so I think that's really cool. But again, that's the maintenance part. My friends and we have a relationship deep enough to where we know what to expect from each other.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, and friendships are very extremely important to me. Like they are like surmountable to me. So I mean, I'm not in a relationship. So, I was dating, but I'm not in a relationship. So friendships have always been like my shit. You know what I mean? Like they are my ride or dies. They are my mainstays. I feel like, I don't know if this was always been my philosophy, but like, you know, your family is your family, but your friends are your chosen family, right? And that has changed over the years as I've grown and experienced life and things. But those I call them my fave five. My fave five are definitely like the people that I check in with and check in with me on a regular basis. And if not, then we're like, what the hell's going on?
Is that a T-Mobile ad? The fave five? I think that just dated both of us. Because I was like, I totally know that. I was like, oh wait.
Oh, right, because you could have 5 people on your family plan or something like that. Yeah. So yes, that's probably where I got it from. But yes, I always keep a fave five. I do. I always. Those are like, and they're all different. They're all, you know, it's a granola box or a trail mix of people. Some of them don't make sense to other people, but yeah, I have a nice little trail mix of my fave five.
You know, I say that in every podcast is someone's first podcast. I got ordained as a joke for one of my friends who was going to marry an awful woman. He was like, I'd marry her tomorrow. So I got ordained that night. I was like, I'll marry you today. He didn't marry her. Spoilers. And so I performed 7 wedding ceremonies. And that's something I've said in every one of them. Your friends are the family you choose, and somewhere along the way I've chosen well. Like that's one of the consistent lines I always say. So I'm right on board with that.
Yeah. You know, it's so interesting when you get complimented for your friends. Have you ever?
Yeah.
They're like, you have really good friends. Like my mom says that. My sister says that. When I have been dating people and have brought them into my world. And I was like, that shit takes work. Like it doesn't just happen overnight. It really doesn't. Do you know what I mean? Like in order to have good friends, you also have to be a good friend. It's really that simple. And I say this all the time. I'm a broken record about this, but showing up isn't convenient. And there are relationships that you have where it's just, you know, it's easy. And we all have those easy relationships, those friends. They're more acquaintances to me than I would say friends, but the easy stuff, they don't push you. Yeah. They go deep enough, but not too deep. They don't really call you out on your stuff. They don't tell you like, dude, get your stuff together. Right. But they're just like your cool friends. And then, but my mainstays, I expect you to show up. Right. Yeah. More than likely, I'm not going to say anything. So if you know me, you're just going to show up. Yeah. And secondly, like, I expect you to call me out on my stuff. Like, I expect you to want the best for me. And when you see that my stuff is getting a little crooked, that you come and straighten me up and get picked, you know, and be like, who are you? What's going on? What are you doing? Like, that's who I consider like my real people. My people don't check me are not my real people.
And that's cultivated, like you said, over time. That's whittled down. That's like a group of people that you've whittled down, the people who you can trust and who are in that circle, who not only you trust to get the advice from, but you trust to give it in general. Yeah. Like some people, like you said, they're just very. I think that's a larger conversation about like the and this is just two old people yelling at a cloud now, where it's like young people are like, if you're not gassing me up, you're not my friend. I'm like, what? Like, no. Sometimes you don't need gas. Sometimes you need brakes. Sometimes you need brakes. Like, we need to make sure that someone in your life can be like, hey, man, tap that other pedal for a second for me. So that
like, stop that speeding. Was not a good look. Like, that doesn't, you know. And honestly, I am one of those people that was willing to sacrifice friendships to tell you something like, you might not like me after this, but we're going to have this conversation because I love you enough for you to never speak to me again. And have this conversation with you. I've literally had that. I'm not joking. Like I've literally had these conversations. You're like, I know.
Yeah, I know. This is completely on brand.
Not like you. But yeah, like you may not talk to me again, but what's not going to happen is you're not going to be walking out here looking crazy. And so take it however you want, but know it comes from a place of love, but you seriously might not talk to me again.
Or you might be looking crazy, but you won't be able to say LaCressa didn't tell me.
Yeah, and it's not even about LaCressa didn't tell me, like someone didn't.
Someone didn't speak
right?
Up, right?
You know, because and that only comes up in like not it kind of extreme measures where you're just like, dude, don't no, don't do that. Like no, it's not gonna play out the way you think it is. Let me just say. But yeah, maintenance is it's a big thing. And I'm sure for you, like you're married, right? So
let's move to the love side.
Doing how you were with Susan when you were dating versus how you are when you first got married and now you guys are married with a kid. That's a different type of maintenance throughout you guys' relationship, right?
It truly, truly has been. It was very funny. I think it was like the night we went to the Little Brother show. She had spent the day with her friends celebrating her friend's bachelorette. So she did boozy brunch and they went by the pool and had a great day.
Oh,
and so
brunch.
She had to come home and like wrap up stuff with the kid. And then I went to meet you for the concert.
Yeah.
And it was like that night I realized I can't remember the last time she and I just went out by ourselves. Like we went out for my birthday because we were with a bunch of friends and stuff and we had coverage there. But like, I think, oh gosh, it was last Friday. This is ridiculous. We finally went on a date night. We went to a little Korean place he was talking about going to. And we just had a really nice night for ourselves. But for us, because those moments are rare, it is making each other feel appreciated in the home. It is making each other like we have like a lot. Oh my gosh, all right, so I'm about to get sappy and weird. Okay.
Please.
So one of the like cutesy, gross things that we do in my house is we have what's called a nice off. Who can out nice the other person?
Sweet.
And
oh my god.
Like I'll make the bed and be like, that's one up on you. And she's like, oh, I got you. And she'll like pour me a coffee. And like, so like it's just like little things to like, because we're both competitive. And it's a joke, obviously, but like we like feeling like winners. And so like we'll have like, hey, I'll put him down tonight. You enjoy a nice time on the couch. Nice off. And like it's a run. Shawnee said it in her sermon during our wedding. Like it was it's been a running gag since we lived in Philly because the world is hard, man. The world's hard. We all have jobs, we all have family stuff. Like it shouldn't be, and of course there's tension. The stuff pops up. But like I shouldn't dread coming home. I shouldn't be like, oh, like when I hear people like gotta get away from the wife, I'm like, why? Yeah, I'm like, that overreaching part of me is like, have you asked yourself why? But like, but inside I'm just like, man, if I didn't like my partner, if I saw like, I have friends who are in finance in New York, and one of my best friends, shout out Demko, he is a single guy our age, very good looking man, and he goes out with these people who are older than him, who are like, we did finance all day. Let's go to dinner till 11. I don't want to go home to the wife and kids. And Demko just like, what are you talking about? Like, shouldn't you like your family?
Don't you remember that from COVID though? Right? Like I was creating this development over it was Pullman Flats. So I was creating Pullman Flats.
Right.
It's other people's business. Anyway, I was creating Pullman Flats. And I remember like it was in the middle of COVID. Like we had shut down for like 2 weeks or whatever. Like Keisha had only shut us down for like 2 weeks. And then Atlanta was open.
Hookah bars and everything. COVID never came here, guys. In case you don't remember, COVID never hit Atlanta.
I'm going to hang out. And I opened up a lounge during that time. Like, Atlanta was, it was open.
It was Atlanta and Miami where it was like, COVID's not really happening, guys. It's fine.
And I'm with these guys, like these straight men who are married with multiple children. And they were like, let's have an in-person meeting. And I was like, why? And they're like, I need to get out of this house. I need to get out of this house. Like, I can't be around my wife. I can't be around my kids anymore. Like, they're driving me crazy, because this is when they were out of school and they were getting like homeschooled per se, which they were doing absolutely nothing. And I realized how many people did not like their partners and did not like their kids? Not really, right? Like they liked their kids enough when they were in school for 8 hours and they had enough time to come home, maybe have dinner with them, and then someone puts them to bed and then they pat themselves on the back if they happen to read a bedtime story. But in the morning they were busy, they were doing meetings, they were making moves, they were doing all those things. And I realized, like, it got real during COVID. Like, you actually have to be around these kids. Like, now you see what these teachers are dealing with. Like, you don't like your kids. Like, and you wonder why the teacher don't like your kids. You don't even like your kids. Yeah. You don't even want to be around your kids. And COVID exposed a lot of that. So it was really interesting to see relationships that thrived in that space and relationships that were just like, it was like a tiny little wound that just like kept opening and opening. And I was just a spectator because I've been single for a minute. So I was just like,
but like example, COVID, even during COVID, like Susan and I were both working out of a smaller house that we're in now. And like, I would go for my walks and make calls on my walks because it was like, if just from proximity, like we're on top of each other, we're both loud people.
You need space, all of that stuff.
But I was never like, I would rather be with X other people as opposed to my family. Like it's
I'd rather be exposed to a virus.
I'd rather risk this virus. And now I'll go for a mile walk around my block as opposed to like, let me go in public and stuff.
It was wild. Like that was a really interesting like fishbowl about like relationships and maintenance, right? Too, like obviously maintenance had to come up during that time because now you're around each other. So now you pay attention to what each other does and what each other doesn't do and how much of a partnership you really have or you thought you had, because there was just this clockwork of a machine that was just running and everybody was just hamsters in a wheel. And then the wheel freaking stopped and everyone didn't know what to do with the freaking hamsters. And they were just like, oh shit, we're all in this little ass cage together and I got to figure out how to like you again, right? Because being busy keeps you everything kind of surface a lot of times in relationships. You don't have to do that much maintenance because you're just focused on paying the bills. You're focused on raising the kid. You're focused on, you know, whatever those list of things that you have to do and have to accomplish, that sometimes the maintenance of the relationship falls to the side because you're just doing the work, not the work in maintaining, but just the work of life, right? So that's where maintenance comes back in and is really important too.
And it's so important because at the end of it, and I think this is a lesson like largely this is a larger conversation about like Western culture and the identification of job as self. But like, yeah, you're 100% right because you've got to be able to, when all that other stuff falls away, what's left? What's really left? And
why divorce happens after kids leave for college, right?
A huge rate.
Your whole relationship, you started out all in love. It was all about the two of you. And then you start popping out kids, whatever. And then everything became about the kids and about the wealth for the kids and doing everything for the kids and the soccer games and the this and the that. And then all you're doing is just maintaining kids, right? I mean, you love your kids, you're pouring into your kids. And then they leave because that's what kids are supposed to do, right?
They're designed to leave.
You're supposed to raise these young beings into being functional human beings that can go out and contribute to the world. And they leave, and now you two are looking at each other like, what? Like, what are we doing?
And I think that's where the backside of the maintenance or the lack of maintenance really shows itself. And I want to transition into the real estate side, the third aspect of us here, because I want to start with financial maintenance first. We're going to talk about homes in a second. Financial maintenance.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about doing this job is I know what it takes to get a mortgage done. So like when rates fell in 2020, I knew exactly what to grab so we could do a refinance.
Right.
I knew how to keep us knew how to keep documentationally in a good place to where it was never going to be I hope we can figure this out. So what I tell people is that as they're planning for their lives, keep an eye on your credit report. Keep an eye on your expenses, your income and your expenses. Have an idea of what, kind of cash flow is going in and out every month so that you can plan ahead. Not so you can, and I know people who will overthink this and say, oh, I've got to make sure as I told Susan when we started dating, you're not going to get rich saving money on toilet paper. So like certain things are going to cost. Like you got to be okay with spending certain things, but you've got to also be able to market to measure that against the things that you actually need or actually want. And so it's interesting because you'll have people say, I want to buy a house. Great, let's get your credit pulled. My credit's in the 400s. Okay, so now we can get there. The answer is never no. It's how to get to yes. There can be a lot more steps to that yes if you haven't done the personal maintenance on the way. If you haven't decided, hey, 5 months from now I want to buy a house, let me go ahead and not spend this tax refund check on a trip. Let me I really want to lower. Go ahead.
Up in there, I want to buy a house, but I'm also like I know this just came up recently with my best friend's daughter. Is I want to buy a house, but I'm 1099 and I write off everything. And so then you have to have the conversation of pick your poison. You got to buy it. You want to buy the house, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more in taxes, right? So maintenance is some sacrifice of time, right?
For sure.
Maintenance is sacrifice of effort as well. So yes, financially, you have to do some maintenance with yourself in order to get ready for a home. And then you get into a home, which I know you're going to segue into this. You got to do damn maintenance in your home, right? Like it's not just cleaning your home for your guests. It is changing out your filter, removing leaves from your gutters. I don't know. I'm in a condo, so mine's a little bit different. You're in a house?
Yes.
You're in a house. So your maintenance is on a whole different level, right? And you can't figure out the maintenance when you're just ready to sell the home because then you haven't done anything in years. And I've been in that situation where the person lived in it for 3 to 5 years. I think he was in it like 4.5 years. He never touched anything in the home. Never. He just lived there. So yes, maintenance. Sorry, go back to what you were saying.
No, 100%. Like, so to wrap up kind of the financial side, it is more than anything, it's the old saying. Again, I say old saying and you're like, I've never heard that. So like everything is mine sports prism. So for me, it's an old saying. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Yeah. And so like you want to make these changes, you want to do these things, great. But if you're already ready, like then it's a lot less of the ramp up time of, well, what are the steps you need to do to get ready? Because guess what? Those steps have to happen. There is no shortcut. You have to do these certain things to get what you want. It's whether you want to do them on a compressed timeline or on a timeline that fits your lifestyle better. And that's kind of the way I've had to look at things is like, because we were all, maybe you weren't. You are a lot more responsible than I was. In my 20s.
That's so funny. I love that you think that about me.
You've done a very good sell job. In my 20s, I was very fly by the seat of my pants. I need responsibilities. I was like, look, if I got a roof over my head and my dog's straight, we're good. Like beyond that, we're going to figure it out. Like, and so like it took.
That's survival, babe. That's survival. But it was like learning how to play, right? Like as long as my rent is paid, I still have a place to stay. I might not be able to pay that power bill this month, but I can probably pay it.
Look, the bills always got paid. I always had enough to cover my tab. I never walked out on a tab. Like that's like I could confidently say these things. Like I covered all my bases. I was never really planning more than 2 weekends ahead. As I got older and was like, well, I'm kind of, and it wasn't even like I want these things. It was like, oh, I found a person who I could do these things with. For me, as the story of many cisgendered heterosexual male in this country,
right?
My woman made my life so much better.
And you wanted to impress this woman and not look like
I need another set of sheets.
Let me get my stuff together.
Exactly. So like that was my impetus. It's a cliche, but it's true. And it was cool. It was fun. It was the reason why our maintenance is easy to do because we grew together. And so if you look at the house in that same way, so let's say, you want to buy a house, you're in a position to buy a house, you bought a house. Congratulations. Now, as you and I are talking about it, the maintenance on that house. I was listening to Bomani Jones's podcast this week. He's talking about a rental home he owns in North Carolina. And he's feeling good about himself. He got back from a European trip. He had gone and seen a bunch of stuff. And he said he got back and had a message from his renter in North Carolina. Said the H, the V, the A, and the C are all out. It's going to cost this much amount of money to get it fixed. And he's a landlord. He lives in the house in North Carolina in the summer. So he had to get it done. And so it was one of those things where he was like, he has like openly been like, I need to keep a closer eye on the property or X, Y, and Z. But it's the things you learn. It's a trade-off. You didn't maintain it over that stretch. Here's a bill.
Well, and also too, you buy something that is not brand new. Mm-hmm. So the parts are older. It's like it's buying a used car. Are you buying a certified used car? What type of lot are you going to get your used car from? It's going to depend on how well the car has been maintained, right? And there are certain things that when I'm working with clients, especially when we're looking at older homes or homes that were recently renovated, they renovated and did some new floors, sweetie. They did new floors. They did new tile. They updated the finishes. But the system is still a 20-year-old system, right? The roof is still a 15-year-old roof. Like renovation doesn't mean we pour it down to the studs and then we put in and replace all of these things and they're all brand new. If they're not brand new, put some money aside because at some point you're going to need to replace it. And if you don't want to do that, particularly get a home warranty. Home warranties are out there. They are not the one-trick pony. They are not going to solve all of your issues, but they will help you solve the majority of your issues. So if you are not one who likes to maintain things, get a home warranty, pay a service fee, but find someone when you get into the home that can help you do the maintenance because you're not going to be doing it. You're not going to be climbing ladders. Do you climb ladders to clean your gutters or do you pay someone to clean your gutters?
My crazy wife loves climbing ladders.
Oh, so you have someone who likes
spotter.
Most people are not climbing ladders. Most people are not going into their crawl space. You know where some HVAC systems are in? Freaking crawl spaces. Do you know the last time those filters were changed? Never, because those people are not going into the freaking crawl space to go and change it because of rats and whatever and snakes. I don't know. And
I'm about to tell myself.
What? Go for it.
So we've talked about this house, the jar house rehab that I'm in. God, a year ago?
Cracks me up every time you say this. Go ahead.
It's never not funny. We were hearing noises. We were up here before the kid was born, so 2 years ago now. We were hearing noises when I'd be up in my office, like, God, what is that? What is that? And we wouldn't, like, I'm not going to the attic. The attic's terrifying. It's too small for me not going up there. So we hired someone to go up in the attic. Family of squirrels.
Aww. I mean, not fun for you, but that's sweet though.
But they're out. Like they didn't destroy anything. They didn't get any wires. It was just like a thing that I had never considered having to deal with in my life. I was like, that's someone else's problem. This can't possibly be my problem. And I'd be sitting here talking to someone on the internet like this, and I just hear shh above my head. Because it always record at night. And I'm like, why are they active at night? Because they go out during the day and they come in at night. But that's the type of thing. Like you don't consider that when you're saying, I'm going to be a homeowner. No. And my home is going to be shared by a family of squirrels. Like that's not termite. Oh, get
a termite bond.
Get a termite, please.
Get a termite bond.
Everyone.
Just get it. I mean, number one, with FHA, more than likely they're going to make you do it. But with other loan types, they don't necessarily make you do it.
The only loan type that requires it for closing is a VA loan.
VA. Yeah. I think they used to, though.
They used to, yeah.
I don't know, right? Like being in the business for 20 years, we're like, didn't they used to do this?
They did. You're not wrong.
Right? It's kind of like when a building is torn down, you're like, I know something was there and I remember it, but I don't remember it now that it's gone. But yes, termite bond, absolutely. Home warranty, $700. Tops, $700. And that's what bells and whistles. Get it immediately as soon as you close on your home. I like to negotiate that as a part of my contract. Do I always win them? Absolutely not. But majority of the time, I would say 85% of the time when I write in a home warranty that you get to choose, but the seller gets to pay for, then it is a part of your deal. You now actually have to register with your home warranty company and then put in actual work orders. And most importantly, when you hire or have a home warranty company, don't let your cousin, brother, sister, random friend come in and check your busted HVAC system, dishwasher, or whatever. Call the freaking home warranty company. Pay the $35 to $125, depending on what your level of service fee is, and get them out there. Because as soon as you run your mouth, because people love to run their mouths and they talk too much and then they end up saying things and they end up telling on themselves all the time. That's just in life in general, by the way, not just the situation. People are always telling on themselves. As soon as you mention, well, I had my brother look at it, or I had my so-and-so look at it, the warranty company is out. They're not touching it. They don't know what happened now. You've now completely made your home warranty null and void. So follow the rules. We put protections in place for you. We put so many protections in place for you. We just need you to follow the freaking rules and reach out to the people. If you have brand new appliances in your home, whether it was a renovated home or a new construction home, register your appliances because they have a manufacturer's warranty. So if something happens, you get a new dishwasher or you get a new oven or you get a new refrigerator. Like, we are here to help you, but you also have to do the things for yourself too.
When we moved back to Atlanta, I want to let you go after this. I know we've got stuff going on today. We went to a used appliance place. Guy did his own repairs. We bought a washer and dryer off of him 10 years ago. Moved into the rental house we're in ourselves. They're downstairs right now. Any problem we've ever had, I call that dude. He comes out. He fixes immediately. Things are not built to last these days. These are older. Things are not built to last because they make more money than you buying it again. To protect yourself, go ahead. Register your appliances when they're new. Please. Keep the money in your pocket and get the home warranty. LaCressa could not be more right. The first year we were in this house, because of who flipped it, we ended up using ours a lot, to the point where I ended up getting our plumbing guy. He came out right around Christmas time. I was like, "You've been here 3 months in a row. Here's a gift. Here's a book, man. Just thanks for coming out."
But thankfully you had the home warranty though to have your back, because that would just been money on top of money on top of money. Also, the great thing about when you purchase a home is that when you actually go to your inspection, as you should go to your
inspection. Go to your inspections, please.
When you go to your inspection, you're going to get a list of things, because the seller is probably not going to take care of every single thing. Some of the things are cosmetic. Some of the things are major systems. Some of the things are handyman, right? And it's going to be a whole list of stuff. But it's not like you don't know. When you have your home inspection, it's going to tell you, oh, your system is 15 years old. I'm not saying it's going to break tomorrow, but it's at the end of its life, right? Like when we talk about our parents, our grandparents, or people that we know they're at the end of life can be 75 to now a freaking 100, but it doesn't mean, but you still have to acknowledge that it's the end period of the life cycle, right? So if it lasts another 5 years, congratulations. But go ahead and start putting that money aside, because it may not last the additional 5 years past its life cycle. So
I have a very funny life maintenance story when we get off this call to tell you about. But LaCressa, tell everyone where they can find you and all your wealth of real estate knowledge.
I kind of hope this was helpful, because this was such a random thought for me, but I really
it worked out beautifully, in my opinion. We'll ask Annie when we get off, but I think it worked out beautifully.
I love how we circled back and we're like, and now to real estate. But yes, I am LaCressa Morrow, KW in town. Here, 20 years of real estate. So call me, pick my brain. LAC Sells ATL. That's my Instagram handle, and you can reach out to me through there. So until next time, party people, have a great one.
Daniel Palmer. DanielPalmerMortgages.com is the website, brought to you by Shelter Mortgage. Let's have a conversation today. These are the lowest rates we've seen in a year. And so I've had a lot more activity on the refinance side as well. It's a great way.
Is that where we are?
Mid to low 60s, like 6.4, I think it was the Wednesday number.
Okay.
So let's have a conversation today. Maybe you're saying, my rate's lower than that. Cool. Let's take a comprehensive look at everything you're spending right now and make sure that there's no way to use equity to pay it back at a lower rate than you're already paying it back at. You got to pay back your debts. Let's make it easier for you and use the equity you've already purchased. If you're in a property and say, hey, maybe it's time to move up, time to move to a new property, talk to LaCressa, talk to me. Let's build a plan for you. Let's see what's feasible. Let's make it happen for you. Because guess what? If you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no, and we're going to help you find your yes. We are, of course, Life, Love, and Real Estate. Make sure you subscribe, iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, and make sure you share it with anyone who would benefit from our nuggets of knowledge. That is the show for the week. We'll be back in 2 more weeks with episode 15. My goodness.
Yeah, it's a buyer's market, by the way. So sellers are making deals. Get out there if you're looking to buy a home.
You heard it here, guys. Make sure you talk to us to make sure you navigate these streets with confidence and clarity. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.